Storytelling and cultural traditions. Storytelling has existed in all cultures for a long time. Before there was writing, there was storytelling. It is still used today to entertain, inform, and pass down cultural traditions and values. Oral storytelling is telling a story by using your voice and moving your body. Oral storytelling includes rhymes, songs, poems, and more. There can also be different types of stories, legends, prayers, and instructions. Here are some examples of how storytelling helps different cultures pass down their traditions. Choctaw storytelling. Like all Native American tribes, the Choctaw have a tradition of oral storytelling. They tell the stories to keep their history alive and to educate young Choctaw people. For example, there are two stories about where the Choctaw people came from. One is about the first Choctaw people traveling east to find a better life. The other says that the people were created from a large hill called a mound. The stories also talk about history and life lessons. Many of the traditional stories use animal characters to teach these lessons in a humorous way. Native Hawaiian storytelling. Native Hawaiian storytelling uses the word mo'elio, but it also means history, legend, or tradition. It comes from two words. The first, mo'o, means succession or passing down of something. The second, oleo, means language or speaking. Together, they mean to pass down language. Because the stories are told orally, Native Hawaiian stories include the tale of the first Hawaiian who was born from a vegetable called a taro. Other stories tell travel across the seas. Native Hawaiian storytellers are special members of society. They know a lot about history and genealogy. Genealogy studies the ancestors of a family. Hawaiian storytelling does not only use words, it also uses mele, song, oli, chant, and hula, dance. The stories are very important to Hawaiians. They are entertaining, but they also teach young Hawaiians about behavior and traditions. Western African storytelling. Oops, too far. The people of the Saharan Africa also have a strong tradition of storytelling. Sub-Saharan Africa is the part of Africa below the Sahara Desert. In many parts of Africa, the whole village comes together after dinner to listen to the storyteller. Like other cultures, the storyteller entertains and educates people. Griots are very important in West African culture. Griots are people who tell stories, sing songs, and help kings. Some of the most famous stories from Western Africa are about Anansi, the trickster spider. There used to be schools where people could learn how to be a griot. Usually the job is passed from an older member of the family to a younger member. Both men and women can be griots, but women are called griotes. The men are often considered more important than the women. Jewish people and the Passover Seder. Passover is an important Jewish holiday celebrated in the spring. The holiday celebrates the Jews' exodus or escape from slavery in Egypt. The Passover celebration includes a feast and a storytelling tradition called Seder. During the Seder, Jews eat a big meal and retell the story of Exodus. The storytelling begins when the youngest child at the Seder asks what makes this special night different than other nights. Then the questions are answered by telling the story of the Exodus and explaining some of the Passover traditions. The story of Exodus is written down in the Jewish book, the Torah. The same story is also told in the Old Testament of the Bible. Irish storytelling. The Siniche, I hope I'm saying that right, were the traditional Irish storytellers. They would travel from village to village telling ancient stories and tales of wisdom. They told the old myths as well as the local news and events. Many of the stories in the Irish oral traditions are tales of kings and heroes. Today, storytelling and interest in storytelling appear to be making a comeback. One Irish storyteller put it, it's a need for connection. Storytelling helps people feel connected to each other in real life. Okay, ladies, so again, once you get onto News ELA and sign into your account, you will see the assignment section, and your prompt for today is write a short paragraph that explains the main idea of the article. Use at least 2 supporting details from the article to support your response. If you would like to include how your family story tells or a specific tradition that you have as well to add on, I would love to hear about it. Also, this is going to be the first of the 2 stories for today. So by Wednesday, you need to have all 5 of the stories in the text set under the assignments in News ELA completed. Okay, ladies, so this is the second article for today. Again, over on the right-hand side, you'll see your activities for your writing prompt and your quiz. So this is our second story for today. Teens find there is power in telling their life stories to one another. Narrative 4 is an organization that believes in storytelling as a powerful way to foster understanding among people. In the program, a person learns someone else's story well enough to retell it as their own. Recently, 16-year-old Malak Laham was at Israel's international airport. She was on her way to Limerick, Ireland, to a global meeting of Narrative 4. The organization works to build understanding through storytelling. Suddenly, Malak was pulled aside by airport security guards. They said that she would have to answer some questions. I was creeped out, Malak, who was Arab, later admitted. Have I done anything wrong? During the previous year, her school had partnered with a Jewish-Israeli school and Narratives 4 program. They hoped to bring about a better understanding of each other. Arab refers to native speakers of the Arabic language, not any particular religion. There are many Arab Christians and Arab Jews, but the majority of Arabs in the Middle East are Muslim, meaning they practice the religion of Islam. In Israel, Arabs are the minority. Everyone has a story to hear. All of Malak's belongings were checked that day. The guards looked through her phone. Where was she going? I was searched only because of my identity as an Arab, she thought. Malak thought she had been treated unfairly. However, she decided not to fight this with hatred. Instead, she decided to fight it with love and kindness. To show the guards that she was human like them, Malak simply said, "Thank you, have a nice day." You can't judge a whole group because of a small part of it, she said. Malak told her story at the Narrative 4 meeting. Lee Keelock, who helps lead Narrative 4, praised her desire to hear the stories of the security guards. People can better understand one another. Narrative 4 formed in 2012 by a group of writers and activists. Lisa Consigliago, Narrative 4's leader, started the program. She used to run a story swap program in Colorado. She met novelist Colin McCann. He became a strong supporter and later president of Narrative 4. A major donor to the program asked if they wanted to make Narrative 4 international, so they would pair with people around the world. Soon, children in New Orleans were connected through video chat with Haitian children. This was just after a major earthquake had hit Haiti. Their next stop was the Middle East, where they paired Arab Israeli and Jewish Israeli students. These kids were 20 minutes apart and natural-born enemies, Consiglio said. Through the telling each other stories, they were able to see each other with new eyes. We change the world when we walk in one another's shoes, McCann said. People understand one another by walking inside the language of somebody else's experience. We are here to be better. Many authors and artists visit the schools to help them with the program. By knowing and caring about others' stories, it might even spark a desire to do something more within the community. Schools around the world can connect. There is a growing network on the group's Facebook page. Meru Quinstanada, a Spanish teacher in Tepico, Mexico. Through the network, she connected with the English teacher Fasal Mayudin, who works outside of Chicago. Tampico suffers from gang violence. This makes residents afraid to be out at night, Castanado said. The American kids don't know that this is happening. They think it is a normal city, but it's not a normal city, she said. Her high school students told their stories, and the students in Illinois talked about their personal troubles. It doesn't matter if you are in the United States or Mexico. We are human, and we are here to be better. Baltimore Stories unites unlikely storytellers. Lakaya Roy is a 19-year-old from South Africa. He has participated in Narrative 4's program for 4 years. Before he told his painful story about his family, I thought maybe people would make fun of me, he said. But when you share your story, it's more like you become free. The program also helped unite members of the community ordinarily set apart. Sherry Parks is the co-program director of Baltimore Stories. In one project sponsored by Narrative 4, she brought high school students and Baltimore, Maryland police officers together in a room. These are groups that are actively shoot at each other, she said. They swap stories about their teenage years. One day we went from fear and hatred to taking selfies and exchanging names and addresses, she said. So again, ladies, after you read the article on your own, you'll go to the activity section where there is the quiz that I would like for you to complete with both multiple choice and short response questions. And then you have your writing prompt here, which reads, how is the theme of accepting differences supported in the article? Use at least 2 details from the article to support your response. All right, ladies. So again, here are all of your assignments that have been created from last week and for this upcoming week. Again, we have the importance of storytelling here. There are actually 4 or 5 articles that you're going to have to read before Wednesday. So that's this here. And then these previous ones are from last week. So again, I know that some of us are still waiting to try to get onto these sites, but again, you need to go to newsela.com and you need to type in the link that was given. Again, I will post that for you so you can see it. So again, ladies, this is the teacher mode from this, but again, you're going to go to newsela.com, which is right here. And as you can see, if you type in this class code right here, it will bring you to BCCSG 5th grade, and you'll be able to access all of our lessons after you set up your account. You'll just find your name, verify your email, type in your email. You can choose your own name. A lot of ladies are just doing their first initial and last name. But however you want to be identified in that way, just so that Miss Egging knows if you want to do your full name, that's fine as well. But again, newsela.com, you'll search classroom code after you set up your student account. Thank you so much. And again, please email Miss Egging if you have any questions. But today, for Monday, you have 2 articles that you need to read with quizzes and short responses, 1 for each. Thanks so much. Enjoy.